Welcome to the show. My name is Rebecca Heinmertz. I am an LPGA professional at Oakmont Golf Club in Santa Rosa, California. Today's guest is Erin Szekely. Erin is a lifetime member of the LPGA Teaching and Club Professional Division, and she teaches at Twin Rivers Golf Course in Fall City. She lives in Seattle, where she went to college at the University of Washington. She studied psychology. She's currently teaching high school golf, which we'll talk about in this interview. She is also the tournament director for the upcoming Northwest Women's Open, which will be this summer, July 17th through the 19th. And we will also tell you all the details about that event. She is married to Steven. She has 3 boys and 3 grandkids that she's really happy and proud over. Without further ado, welcome, Erin.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm excited to talk to you today. What have you been up to this winter?
Well, wintertime is usually a pretty slow time for me for teaching. In the fall, I teach the boys, or I coach the boys varsity, and then it's pretty quiet over the winter. We usually go to Maui for a week or so just to get out of the cold and the rain here.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks, I start up with the girls varsity and the middle school. So I have both of them going at the same time. So it's pretty busy.
Wow, that's really cool. What do you like most about teaching the high school kids?
Well, I guess, a lot of them are, I coach at this very small school. So the pool is very, very small. So I get a lot of kids that have never done any golf at all. And it's fun to get them going and get them excited about golf and having fun. And when I teach or coach, I like to play a lot of games and they have a lot of fun. We have some silly games that we'll play. And I like having them learn the sport and learn the etiquette and just having a good time. And it's a lot on them because a lot of times I only have them for about an hour and 15 minutes a day. And for 2 weeks at the beginning of the season, I'm coaching and then they're playing in matches. So it's like throwing them into the deep end. It's not easy, but it's really been fun to watch them, grow and learn. And so I get a big kick out of that. They're really neat kids.
Yeah, I agree with you. I teach, we just started a junior academy at Oakmont, and it's fun to see over time how much they learn and how much they improve. So
Yeah.
definitely love that aspect of it. How long have you been doing that?
Well, I just started coaching. This will be my second year. And I just basically been teaching up until now. And I saw an ad for, that they need a coach. And I thought, I like the kids and I just thought it would be a great thing to do. So here in my later life, I jumped in and it's going great. I love the kids and we're having a good time and they're learning a lot and growing and it's been real rewarding for me. I've really enjoyed it.
How did you get started in golf?
Well, I got started late. I was about 35 and I went to my husband plays, and he doesn't practice. He just plays 2 or 3 times a year. But I went to a little tournament that he was in years and years ago, and I watched him play, and I said, how hard can this be? I played baseball. I played all kinds of sports, and I love sports, and I love being outside. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. So I went to one of the golf stores and I picked out a 3-wood and then I went over and I picked out something else and then I picked out a 4-iron and then I picked out a wedge and I had no idea what I was doing. Nobody really helped me. And I just kind of figured it out on my own and got little tips from this one and that one and this one. And then I went to an LPGA event and at Meridian Valley here in Seattle. And I think I saw Patty Sheehan. That was the time that she was playing in Sari Park. And I looked at him and I thought, you know what? This is what I want to do. And so I just worked really hard. And when my kids were in school, I worked part-time at a golf course, just in the little, snack shop. And so I could get free golf. And I just kept at it and played amateur golf, and then started playing a lot. And somebody said you should turn pro, and I said that's silly. I can barely get the ball airborne, but okay, and I did, and just went on from there. Played some mini tour events, and then decided that maybe teaching would be good for me. So it's kind of it's where I went. And so now for the last 20 years, I've been teaching, and it's been great.
What an inspiring story, I just have to say.
Well,
I love Patty Sheehan, and I've seen her, I think anybody who watches
mhm.
Patty Sheehan play will be sort of hit with the grace and power that she has.
Yeah, she's a great gal. She's still I mean, she's still a really good player. I saw her not too long ago, and she still plays. Her swing is really sweet, and she's a great one to copy if you're looking for a swing to copy, because she's good.
Yeah, she has a wonderful tempo. Yeah, she was down at the Palm Valley tournament in December.
Right.
So yeah, I saw her
Yep.
there too. I know you were there as well.
Hmm. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. So do you have any other golfing heroes?
Well, let's see. I like Nancy Lopez, and I met Kathy Whitworth. I thought she was amazing. A lot of those women that played before, I looked up to a lot. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I started the tournament that is now the Northwest Women's Open, was because I, as an amateur, went and played in a professional tournament. It was the Washington Open. It only was going for a couple of years, but as an amateur, I got to play with a professional woman. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. And I can't remember her name, um, but it was really exciting to watch her and watch her etiquette and watch her demeanor. And so I like a lot of those gals that, they appreciate where they are. They appreciate everything around, and appreciate the game and what it's given to them. So, Kathy Whitworth is a really cool gal. Another one I just met was Pat Bradley, and I've talked to her a bit, and she's also somebody that I look up to. And yeah,
Yeah, that's
there's a
great.
little bit of a capsule of some of the ones I appreciate.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. What was it initially that kind of made you stick with golf? Because I know that for somebody who's starting out to play golf, that can sometimes be kind of challenging. So I know you went to the golf store, and you kind of got bits and pieces that you got started, and then it sounds like you kept working at it and working at it. What kept you going during that time?
Well, I like a challenge, and I knew I couldn't play baseball for a long time, and I loved being outside, and I just wanted to get it. I did not like the idea that I did not pick this up easily. I had to work my tail off to try and get somewhere with it, and it was a challenge to me. And it's what has kept me in it all these years, because you never get it. In fact, I tell my kids all the time, as soon as you say I've got it, it will disappear on you. And so don't say I've got it. And so I think that was it. It was just the challenge of it. And I loved practicing, and it was I could do it on my own. I didn't have to count on anybody else, like for tennis or other sports. And so that was good too. And then as my kids got older, they started playing. And for anybody who has kids out there, as they get older and teenagers, they don't really want to hang out with their mom. But if their mom plays golf and can get them on the golf course, then it was a great family sport. And we still, every Mother's Day, we have a Mother's Day Open, and we have a little trophy. And my three boys and my son and I, we go out and we play and just have a ball. And so it's been a really neat sport, throughout the years, and going on vacations and stuff and playing golf is some of the prettiest places. Like I mentioned Maui, and some of the prettiest places that in different cities and states are the golf courses. And so that
Yeah.
was another reason. It was a nice thing to be able to do when you were on vacation. So that was it. I guess it was just mostly the challenge of it. I didn't want this game to beat me, and yet it does.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely the charm of golf. It's always a
Mhm.
process of improving and working on different parts of your game. And the same for me. When I was growing up with golf, it was a social thing. And
Yep.
that's how it all got started for me and my family as well. And it sounds wonderful to be able to have the kids out for golf on Mother's Day. That sounds really nice.
It's pretty fun, and they love the game too. So that's that's always fun. I can call one of them up, and now they're much older, so they're pretty busy with their own families and work and everything else. So yeah, I'm glad I've had these times with them, and that periodically we can get out and play.
So I know that you're the tournament director for the Northwest Women's Open. So tell us about that.
hmm Well, I started it in 1996 at the first place where I started working, and they had an East Side Men's Open, and the head pro came to me and he said, "Erin, would you like to run an East Side Women's Open?" And I said, "Well, sure." And so I put it together, and actually it was a pretty big deal. It was in October, and so there's not a lot going on around here in October. So I even got the TV stations to come out and do some reporting, and we had walking scores and caddies, and I had all kinds of games and prizes, and closest to the pins and all kinds of stuff. And it was a big hit, and so I did that for several years, and then I had somebody approach me and say they wanted to turn it into the Washington State Women's Open. So then we did that, and he got sponsors, and we moved through, and then and that went on for 10 years or so, and then we had some, it was tough. It's like anything else. We had some sponsored problems and couldn't get some sponsors. So then it sort of faded a little bit for a couple of years. We had to cancel it, and now it's back as the Northwest Women's Open for. This will be the fourth year for that. And, I have a purse of about 20,000, and girls come from all over the world. I mean, we have someone from Japan, we've had them from Australia, New Zealand, and all over the United States. They come for the tournament, and it's a lot of fun. I have not just the stroke play, but I have senior division. And like I said, I like a lot of games. So we have the closest two, and longest, I don't have long strides, but I have a leap of the day. So if you screw it up on the first day, it's a 2-day event. Screw it up on the first day and do better the next day. I have some money for that. And then before the tournament starts, I have I call it the Cusack Cup. It's kind of a Ryder Cup kind of a thing where I have the USA team play against a world team. So we have 5 players on each team, and we have match play. And then in the afternoon, and there's a cup and all kinds of stuff for that. And then in the afternoon on that day, we have a big pro-am. And then we have the 2-day event. So it's been very successful. We have it out at Twin Lakes out in Federal Way, like you said, July 17th to the 19th. And it's a lot of fun. I also have housing for the girls. And I pay everybody all the pros when they play in the pro-am. And it's been a lot of fun, and I get all kinds of players, like I said, from all over. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. I want to encourage anyone who's interested in playing the tournament to go to the website. And can you repeat the website so that everybody can check it out, Erin?
Sure. Yeah, it's the northwestwomensopen.com, and the applications are actually online. You can go online and fill out the application and send it in, and you can pay by PayPal. It's $230, which is pretty reasonably priced for a tournament. And I have all kinds of prizes and gifts and things that go with it. So you can sign up online, like I said, and pay with PayPal or make other arrangements with me, but that's northwestwomensopen.com.
Great. That sounds really good. I know you put a lot of work and effort into this tournament, and I want to acknowledge you for doing that, because that takes a lot of energy to put on a tournament of that size. So that's really awesome. I'm really looking forward. I'm planning on coming up this year, and
Well, that's great.
checking it out.
Cool. Well, I don't do it all alone, of course. I have several people that help me, that have helped in these last 4 years especially. And I get good people, and I've got somebody that handles all of the housing. And then I have a tournament coordinator, and he handles the pro-am and getting all the financing. and the sponsors. And that's a huge part of it. I basically handle the tournament part and getting the gals and taking care of them and making sure everybody's taken care of. But these things don't happen, just one person. It's a group effort, and I've been very grateful to work with some really, really cool people. So, and I am very grateful to them that I don't have to go out and get the money, because those first few tournaments that I did, that's what, if I played with somebody, I would ask them what they did, and I would ask them if they wanted to be a part of the tournament and if they would want to donate, and I hated it. So it's much better to have somebody in charge of all of that that's really good at it.
Yeah, that definitely is challenging to fundraise and run the tournament. So I can definitely see the challenge with that. And there are people out there who are very good at that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Another question I have for you is that you've had some influence over the year from Manuel de la Torre. So I wanted to ask you about that. I'm curious to hear how you got into contact with him.
Okay, well, I was playing with a friend of mine, and we were playing mini tour stuff, and she introduced me to her coach, Ken Kubitz, who teaches in Tacoma. And he worked with Manuel de la Torre in Milwaukee at the Milwaukee Country Club. And when I started talking to him, I thought, this is a whole nother ballgame from what I had been taught. I had been taught what to do with your body, and nobody ever really mentioned the club much. I had to kind of figure that out for myself. And Manuel's whole way of teaching and his concepts are based on geometry and physics, that the club is swung in a circle, and that you use your hands to swing the club head back over your shoulder, swing freely forward to the other shoulder, brush the grass, the ball goes up in the air, and you allow your body to respond to what you're doing with the club. And it's the easiest way I have found to teach, and the easiest way that my students, they pick it up pretty fast. And if I can get, I call them my golf virgins, somebody that doesn't know anything about golf, and I teach them this way, they don't know any different. And boy, it's really been very rewarding, and to watch my students get better and to learn the game this way. So, and then I worked with Manuel. He passed away last year, and at 93, and he was teaching up until he was 90. He's an amazing man from Spain, came over here, and he was a golfer. And then he worked with Ernest Jones, he and his father, and that's where they developed this whole system. And it really is basically, it's about you swinging the club correctly in a circle over your shoulder, and then allowing your body to respond to that, as opposed, I listen on TV and I hear them say, if you watch their hip and their chin and their left elbow and their right elbow and I think this is what my students they can't do this. They may be correct in saying what's happening, but I've just found it's an easier path to allow them to just allow their body to respond to what they do with the club. So, and then Manuel, he wrote a book, Understanding the Golf Swing. And he also did a DVD, and in the DVD he's teaching me. I was very privileged to work with him on that. It was very cool when we shot the DVD. And then I also have a DVD, Golfing with Erin. And when I made it is based on Manuel's principles. I sent him a copy before I put it out there to ask him what he thought. And Manuel, if you know Manuel, I think, Rebecca, you've met him. He's the master of understatement. And he said to me, it's pretty good. That was huge, high praise. I was thrilled to death to get that from him. So, but anyway, that's kind of my story with Manuel. And every year he would have a seminar. In fact, Pia Nilsson used to come a lot. I know you know who she is. And it was, he also worked with Tommy Aaron. Tommy Aaron, who won the Masters, and he worked with Sherry Steinhauer and several other LPGA pros, and some of the men. Jerry Smith, he's worked with on the PGA tour. And anyway, he was a true gentleman, and it was a pleasure knowing him. And that's kind of how I got introduced to him, and then I would go to his seminars every year and learn something new each time.
Yeah.
So we're sad to have lost him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But very grateful.
Yeah, I was on my way to one of his seminars. This was probably the last one he held in Arizona. And,
Right.
or, yeah, I think it was the last one. And I was supposed to go and play golf at Spanish Bay, and I had to cancel my friend because my foot was hurting. And the very next day, I was supposed to drive to start driving out down to Arizona. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to go and see my foot doctor, and he did some X-rays, and he came back and he's like, "Nope, you have a heel fracture." So
Oh my gosh. How did you
so
get that?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
it's a long story, but I think it was
Mm-hmm.
I did a pretty challenging workout, and I did something funny, and so it happened. So I couldn't drive. So I unfortunately missed the seminar. So I actually never got to meet
Oh,
him. So I was very bummed. I was just kind of laid up in bed and just hopping around.
no.
So
Yeah, that's too bad. You know you can get access to some of his teachings, and all there are recordings of every one of his seminars. And you can go online. There's a new website. If you Google Manuel de la Torre, this website that has been up there forever comes up, and it's not a particularly good one. There's not a lot of information on it, but if you do some Google searches, a lot of us are still sort of in contact, and some of the guys have put together a website that's really good, and there are a bunch of his teachings that you can access for free on YouTube and in different areas, watching him teach.
oh,
And
okay.
so,
I will put that in the show notes for this program.
okay, yeah,
Um,
that would be great, because he it's it, it's just an easy way to learn the game, or at least the swing. Um, and so I would encourage anybody that's interested to go check him out.
yeah. And where can we get access to your DVD series?
You can go, I also have a website, golfingwitherin.com, and you can check it out on there. Otherwise, and then just shoot me an email. I've sent them all over the world. In fact, I just sent some off to the Netherlands. So people that find me through Manuel de la Torre and
Hmm.
know that I teach that way. And so that, his is a 2 DVD set. Mine's just a 20-minute DVD. But you have to email me. You can't get it through my website, but you can get my information on the website, and just let me know, and then I'll ship it out to you.
All right, great. That's wonderful. Let's see. Is there anything else you want to add?
Golf for me has taken me around the world. When I played at mini tour events, we were the first professional women's golf tournament in China. And
Wow.
I'm not sure. I think it was I'm not sure when it was. 2004 maybe. But I went over there with a group, so we got to play in China, and that was awesome. And I played with um, the reigning U.S. women's amateur champion and the reigning Chinese amateur champion,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was it was a big deal. They had all ESPN there, and the whole, it was a very exciting to be a part of that, to be the very first professional women's event. It was in Xiamen, China,
Uh-huh.
and I caddied for somebody in the European, for Carrie Vaughan. I don't know if you remember her, but it was the European qualifying for the tour, for the women's tour. So I got to,
Mm.
in Italy. That was awesome. But I'm very grateful to what golf has given me, and it was one of the reasons why I started the tournament. Was because I wanted to give back, and I also wanted to give amateurs in the area, or from anywhere, a chance to play with professional women. And that was my main goal, because I had so appreciated being able to play with a professional woman. And so that's those are my, I guess that's kind of what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I
Mhm.
think that's it's super inspiring to hear your background and how you got started, and the influence that professional players have had on your career, and how
Mhm.
it's really inspired you to move forward with golf. So that's really awesome.
Cool.
I have
Thank you.
one last question for you, and that
Okay.
is, so this series, every time I do an interview, I sort of pass the baton to another person, and
Mm-hmm.
you actually have the baton. So I'm asking who you think I should interview next.
Well, speaking of LPGA players that are now teaching and been around for a while, Heather Drew is a great gal, and I think she has an interesting story to tell. I don't know if you've interviewed her or not, but
I have not.
she's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So I will connect with her and see if she is ready and willing to do an interview. Is she in the Western section?
She's in the Western section, and she teaches down in the Palm Springs area.
Yeah, that's what I
At
thought
least
as
I
well.
think during the winter. Yeah, I'm not sure where she goes in the
Yeah,
summertime,
I
but
think you're right. Okay,
mhm.
great. That is an excellent choice. And so we will be back with an interview with Heather, hopefully.
Cool.
So I wanted to thank you so much for your time. I know that the audio might be a little bit shady in places on this recording, and I apologize for that. But I'm really pleased that we got to do this interview with Erin and share some information with you all on the upcoming tournament. And once again, Erin, thank you so much for your time. It's really great to hear your background in golf, and I wish you all the best for the season.
Thank you, Rebecca. It was great talking to you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate the interview. We had some technical difficulties, but we worked them out. So, so thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, take care. See you soon.